So today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to make this baby doll blanket and baby doll pillow. And you can actually turn this into an actual baby blanket if you want. You just need to chain more, make it a little longer and a little taller if you want. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on this. We're going to start with the pillow. It's 2 pieces. And we are going to crochet, single crochet all the way around, and we're going to leave a little opening. We're going to stuff it a little bit and then finish single crocheting. And then when we get to the end, we're going to do this little cute little shell stitch around it. And then for the blanket, it's very simple. It's the same stitch, and it's a beautiful stitch. Look at that. And when we get to the end, we're just going to shell stitch all the way around. Just like that. But it's beautiful, and it is basically the same on both sides of your little blanket. All right, so let me show you what yarn I happen to be using. This is a medium 4-weight yarn. It's sort of on the thinner side, so I'm sure that this would work just fine with a good DK or 3-weight yarn, as long as it's not on the thin side where it's a 2-weight. I would try to stick to a 4-weight if you can. But the yarn I happen to be using for this is Flex. And I got this at, I'm sure it was at Michael's. And it's a medium 4-weight. The color is Aqua. But like I said, it's more of a thin weight, 79% acrylic, 21% polyester. All right, so the color that we are going to use today is, for this tutorial, we're going to work with this color right here. And this color is Deep Pink Coral. So we're going to start off with the pillow. So you're going to need to make 2 of these. And the first one you will fasten off, and you can weave in the end if you want, or you can leave it and let it weave in as you crochet the edges together, the 2 panels together. So let's go ahead and get started on this. I do use a row counter with this. I am using a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. And of course a pair of scissors, 4-weight yarn. Mine's a little more on the thin side. So to get started on this, I'm just going to make this the panel and then put the pillow together, and then on the blanket I will show you how to do shells around it. But it's the same exact stitch. So all I'm going to do on this one is just show you that you can, if you're working on the pillow panel, you need to chain 29. So write this down, chain 29. Working on the blanket, you need to chain 53 for the blanket. And for this, we're going to do a total of 20 rows. It's a repeat of row 2. And for the blanket, we're going to do a total of 81 rows. And it's the same exact stitch. So all right, let's go ahead and get started on this. You will need some stuffing for the pillow. So if you're working on the pillow, once again, you chain 29, and if you're working on the blanket, you need to chain 53. So I do not make slip knots. I just go straight into my chain. So I just put my hook underneath my strand of yarn, and I twist it, grab the yarn like that, and then grab the yarn and pull through. So that's how I start mine. You can do a slip knot if that's what you prefer. And then I just make however many chains I need for if I'm making the blanket or the pillow. Okay, once you get the right amount of chains that you need, we're going to work in the back bump back here. Okay, there's the front side, and then there's your back side, the bump. You don't have to, you can just work straight into the chain. We're going to make a slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook. So it's 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to turn it a little bit and grab this little bump back here, little stitch. Grab my yarn, pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook. So I've made a slip stitch. Your next stitch is going to be a half double crochet, and once again we're going to grab the bump that's in the back. And then slip stitch in this little bump. Sorry guys, it's a little hard to do when you're looking through a camera. And then half double crochet, and then you just keep repeating this pattern all the way across. That's what it's looking like. And like I said, if the bump is a little too hard for you, just do it in the chain. You're going to put these pieces together anyway. Okay, I'll meet you when you get to the end. You should end with a slip stitch. You'll always start with a slip stitch and you'll end with a slip stitch. Okay, so I've ended mine with a slip stitch. Now when you get to the end, you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And you're going to turn your work. Now, row 2 is your repeat row through your whole project. So you're, like I said, you're always going to start with a slip stitch. And see these V's, you're going to insert your hook underneath the V's. Those are your stitches. So insert your hook in the first stitch and do a slip stitch. Do a half double crochet in the next stitch. Just going to repeat that. Slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet. Okay, you're just going to keep repeating that, and I will leave you on your own. If you're doing the pillow, you need to do a total of 20 rows, and if you're doing the blanket, you need to do a total of 81 rows. Okay, so I'll meet you back when you get to the end. Okay, so now we're finished with our second panel. Now our first panel, remember we fastened off. So let's go ahead and put these two panels together. Really front is the same as the back. So let's just put the panels together. And what you're going to do is single crochet all the way around, but we'll leave a little opening here so that we can stuff. So insert your hook and then just kind of make sure the panels are even. And you can chain 1 if you want. And go ahead and insert your hook in the first stitch there and in the second one. You want both panels together. Make a single crochet and then just single crochet all the way around through both panels. Just like this. Just make sure your ends are together. It looks like this. When you get to the corner, we're going to do 3 single crochets. right, we're getting to the end here. Okay, now we're at the end. Go ahead and do 3 single crochets right here. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now just continue on with 1 single crochet through both panels. Just make sure they're even. Okay, I will meet you when you get, we're going to stop somewhere about right here. So work your way around, just single crochet, working the 2 panels together, 3 single crochets in this corner. I'm going to crochet this in it when I get to this side, just kind of crochet it. You don't have to, you can weave it in with the yarn needle later. And I'll do three single crochets right here, and I'll meet you back about right there. So work your way around. Okay, so I stopped about right here. I did 3 in the corner. Remember, we only did 1 here, so we'll add 2 more to that. And then I did 3 here and 3 here. So all you got to do is just lightly stuff this. You can, I don't know if you can see that. Just kind of lightly stuff this. And try to put it kind of in the corner first. And then I take my finger and then just kind of spread it out. And then do the same thing here. Just kind of put it in the corner like that. And then I just kind of spread it out. Okay, and then some down at the bottom here, down in there. And then I just got to fill in that little section there. And then you can just kind of lay it like this, kind of close it with your fingers to see what you think. And I think that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and close this up. So continue just making your single crochet between both panels. Just like that. Okay. We're almost there. And you can make your pillow lightly stuffed, or you can have it really thick. Okay, so let's see. I think there might be 1 more. And in that stitch, let's do 2. 1, 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and slip stitch into that first stitch we did. Okay, so you can leave your pillow like this if you choose to, or you can go ahead and add this scalloped edging to it. And now we have single crochets to work with. So let's go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And in that same stitch, we're going to work 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. And 2 double crochets, all in the same stitch. Okay, now we're going to skip this stitch and we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch. Going to skip this stitch and then we're going to make another shell in the next stitch, which, if you remember, 2 double crochets, half double crochet, and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. skip the next stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch, skip the next stitch, slip, shell in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat this all the way around. 2 double crochets, a half double crochet, and 2 double crochets is your shell stitch. Okay, skip a stitch, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and shell stitch. 2 double crochets, half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. Okay, skip a stitch, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and a shell stitch. 2 double crochets, half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. Okay, skip a stitch, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and then a shell stitch. And that's all you're going to do all the way around. Okay, I will meet you when you get to the end right here. So just continue working all the way around, and I'll meet you right here. Okay, so when I ended mine, I only have like 1 stitch left right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch into that, and I'm going to fasten off. Okay, so now you'll take your yarn needle and we're going to weave that in. Okay, and turn it over, and on the back side, just kind of weave your yarn in, your needle, and then back. And then you can go back again. Okay, and then just fasten that off. And that's all you need to do. And you've got you a pillow. So let's go ahead and finish off the blanket. Okay, so if you're working on the blanket, then when you get to your last row, then you need to chain 3. And in this same stitch, it's not really a stitch, but you can kind of sort of see, like right there, the little, in places where you'd insert a hook. Go ahead and chain 3, and in that same stitch, do a double crochet, and then in the same stitch, do a half double crochet, and now we're at the same stitch. We're going to do 2 double crochets. One, and 2. Okay, so now we're going to skip this next stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to slip stitch, skip the next stitch, and in this next stitch we're going to make another shell. So it's 2 double crochets, 1, 2, a half double crochet, and 2 double crochets, 1, and 2. So here's what it looks like now. And you're going to repeat this all the way around. So skip this next stitch, and in this next stitch, slip stitch. And like I said, if you're working on the sides, it's really not a stitch, it's the end of the rows, but you can kind of see where to insert your hook. Okay, so skip this next one, and in the next one, you're going to make another shell. So 2 double crochets. It's 1, 2, a half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Skip the next stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch. Skip the next stitch, and then a shell stitch. So 2 double crochets, a half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So here's what it's looking like now. And remember, right now we're working on the blanket. Skip a stitch, slip stitch. Oops. Skip a stitch, slip stitch. And skip a stitch, and now we're in the corner. And we're going to do a shell. So 2 double crochets, a half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. So skip a stitch, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and a shell. And you're just going to repeat this. 2 double crochets, half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. Okay, skip a stitch, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and shell. All right, and I'll let you finish that till you get to the end. Okay, so now I'm at my next corner, and remember, we're working on the blanket. Stitch, slip stitch, skip, be in the corner here, and do your shell. Didn't realize I was off the camera a little bit. Sorry about that. Skip a stitch, slip stitch. And like I said, you're on the side, so it's not really a stitch, but it's the end of the row. Skip a stitch and shell stitch. And you're going to continue this. All the way to the end. And if you're working on the pillow, you'll have 2 combined. So just continue this on down, and I'll meet you when you get to the end. Okay, so we're just about to the end. Skip a stitch, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and right here on the end, go ahead and do your last shell stitch. Okay, and then all you do is, because you're not going to do the top for the blanket, so you just cut that off and you weave it in, and when you do, it will actually lay flat flatter. It'd be more like about kind of like this side. And that's all you do, guys. You are done. You have you a beautiful project. You got your beautiful blanket. And like I said, you could actually turn this into a baby blanket if you choose to. Look at the stitch. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that. I hope you enjoy this. And I'll see you on another tutorial. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.